Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you tonight. Just last week, it feels like yesterday, I made a video with the rumor about Rey Mysterio being open to returning to WWE, basically because the question about whether or not Lucha Underground is going to be coming back for a second season. Basically Rey Mysterio has been working for AAA. He did the main event of Triple Mania, working against the former Sin Cara, having a big match there. Alberto Del Rio is another guy that it's openly being questioned if he'd be open to come back to WWE. He was also on the AAA Triple Mania show, wrestling against Brian Cage in a hair versus hair match. That was sort of like the undercard, big two matches that everybody cared about for Triple Mania. I remember that when the buzz was out there for Triple Mania, this was a show that I didn't really know anything about, but I was willing to give it a chance. Everybody kept pushing that it was only a $20 pay-per-view. I thought that maybe I'd be able to find it somewhere out there online, and it might be fun just to see something and check it out. Rey Mysterio was never one of my favorite guys. Alberto Del Rio was a guy, he wasn't one of my favorites, but I found his matches really good most of the time. He was one of those workers that you just knew that he always gave his best. That he did that like sort of fall down kick to the back of the head that always looked like one of the most brutal, one of the most thuddest, like the way it sounded when he did it, man. It just sounded like the guy just got booted in the back of the head, and you know that shit hurt. Rey Mysterio and Alberto Del Rio, they've been making good money. They've been working when they want to. And basically, I think somebody asked them the question if they'd be willing to return back to WWE. And as of right now, they said they aren't looking to return to back to the company. But if it was put on the table that they would be able to work a reduced schedule, they would be looking forward to this. It even says in the story that Vince McMahon was always a big fan of Alberto Del Rio. He was a tall, good-looking guy, and he had a good physique. That's why Del Rio got the strong push that he did. But so many times with Del Rio, he would get that strong push, and then they would just forget about him. And then out of the middle of nowhere, they would just make this strong push for him again. I think one of the strongest pushes they ever got was when he made his debut, and he was coming in as sort of like this rich millionaire guy with all the cars. And he was feuding with Rey Mysterio in a very good feud. And to me, honestly, what killed it off to me was it seemed like at TLC they were going to be going into a really big singles match. And I'm not sure if it was going to be the blow-off of their feud or just the start of a long-term rivalry. But out of the middle of nowhere, they just get added to this fatal four-way. I can't remember if it was a TLC match or if it was a ladder match. One way or another, they get added to the main event. And it just seemed like their whole feud that was going on was thrown out the window for that one. But the whole time that they were always there, whenever Rey Mysterio was healthy and they were on the roster together, they always put on good matches when they were in programs together. And I always thought that maybe they were going to do something bigger than what they did. The rumor was always that Rey Mysterio was going to wrestle against Sin Cara at WrestleMania, go mask versus mask. I honestly didn't understand why they didn't do Mysterio versus Del Rio and having a bigger deal. Mysterio, I can honestly see coming back for like a what I would call a Rob Van Dam deal, a reduced schedule, maybe coming in semi full time for a short little 3-month stint, and then being able to go home and live his family life the way he likes to, and then just sort of waiting for the phone to ring to come back maybe 9 months later or so. Del Rio, honestly, in my mind, I know that he did, work for Ring of Honor. Then he was doing Lucha Underground, and I don't know if that's what killed his Ring of Honor deal, was signing with Lucha Underground. Now that that's done and doesn't seem to be having anything in the foreseeable future, now he's just having the AAA deal. I honestly think if WWE really went to Del Rio, they could get Del Rio and bring him back. The way he got fired, somebody's got to eat some crow. You can see that they fired Del Rio off the bat, and the guy that I guess he punched him or slapped him for the deal in catering. It seemed like, the news broke that guy was fired sooner than later. It seemed like that guy didn't last 2 months after Del Rio's leaving, and I think that WWE saw the writing on the wall that there was money to be made out there with Del Rio. And, there was, tons of companies that were willing to jump on board. He almost even had a kickboxing fight against Goldberg. to make even more money out there. He's done mixed martial arts in the past. I believe that he lost the fight, and there's been rumors that even that fight was fixed. But I think that there's money out there to be made for Del Rio. But Vince McMahon and the WWE might be the greatest option for him. So we'll see. I honestly would love to see Del Rio return. Like I said, he's never been one of my favorite guys, but he's been one of those guys that I really like to watch. So we'll see what's going on with these two in the foreseeable future.